So my favorite movie genre is dystopian movies and TV shows too. And living at the ranch and basically having to be a prepper, I kind of feel like we live in this anyway. So with the Apocalypse Kitchen series, I wanted to show you how to cook all the freeze-dried foods and how to live in case you're ever without power, which I kind of feel like is coming soon. If you're really smart, you're slowly building up a supply of foods that will save you. And if you're not, hopefully you're really lucky and you stumble into somebody else's house who is a prepper. And this is how you make food with it. You totally know when you walk into someone's house, you're going to find spam. It's going to be at the 7-Eleven. If you manage to have a neighbor who is a prepper, they've got this. So let's make a meal around spam. Because really, unless you live in Guam, you're probably only going to eat it in an apocalypse. I also have a bunch of freeze-dried vegetables, and we have a plethora of rice. So whether you have uncooked rice or you're lucky enough to have some 90-second microwave rice, which in an apocalypse probably won't work, but this, I'm going to show you how to make it work even if you are without power outside. So in every dystopian movie, you know when they go through stores or old people's houses and they find cans of food that are like 20 years old, and I'm like, cans go bad, people. It's not okay. And I tested that theory once because we found an old can, and when I popped it, it sounded like a shotgun went off. It was fucking terrifying. So this is why I like freeze-dried food. So whether you are smart enough to prep yourself or you are lucky enough to have a neighbor who was on vacation when the apocalypse started and you stumbled across their storeroom, this is what you want. So we have got spam. We have got rice. So what are we going to make? Everybody has soy sauce or tamari. So we're going to pick all of our veggies and we're going to make fried rice because it's so easy. You can do it outside on a flat plate or a campfire, and we have everything we need for. Now, this isn't gourmet fried rice. It's not Chinese fried rice from a Chinese store. This is like post-apocalyptic fried rice. So stay with me here. Got green onions, regular onion, peas, some broccoli. These are the old cans. These are the new cans. So these are being open a while and they're a little sketchy, but you know, apocalypse. We're going to eat it anyway. Mushrooms, fresh pepper, and we've got whole egg powder. This one is not delicious on its own, but you can make it into a scrambled egg, which is delicious in fried rice. So we're going to do that. To reconstitute this, it is 2 spoons of the egg mix and 2.5 spoons of water. So that's real easy. The rest of the freeze-dried stuff is super easy. Just take whatever portion you want, so, you know, a little bit of everything, and throw it in a bowl with some water and let it rehydrate. Here's one that's closed, and see, it's actually fully sealed, airtight. You can hear the little. And see, we've got some green onion, but I'm actually not going to use this till the end. I am lucky enough to have a garden, and these are my own grown peppers. So we're going to have one fresh item in amongst all the freeze-dried fruit because, you know, why not? Add just enough water to cover and then let it sit for all veggies, so probably like 5-10 minutes. Cut your pepper into small pieces and take all these seeds and go through them in the garden. You want to save every piece of food you can. Take these, plant them. In a few weeks, you'll have more peppers, which is great because then you can have fresh food. These are the peppers that I grew from store-bought peppers. I just took the seeds out, threw them in dirt, and then I had like 50 fresh peppers. It's awesome. So once you've cut up your pepper, cut up your spam just into tiny pieces because we all love little bits of ham in fried rice. So I am lucky enough to have an outdoor kitchen at the ranch. Okay, so we got the grill hot, and then we just threw on that egg mix and letting it cook for a second. Flip it. And you don't want to cook this bad boy too much because we're going to throw it back in a little bit. So take it off and put it to the side. Okay, take a little bit more oil and take all of your veggies that are reconstituted. We're going to cook those first because there is a little excess water and we want to get rid of that. Take your Spam and your fresh veg, throw that on there too, and let it cook for a minute. Almost as if my stove understood the assignment, it ran out of fucking propane halfway through, so I had to replace it, which is why we like cooking on an actual flame fire. So the actual key to really good fried rice is you want to use yesterday's leftover rice and have it cold because it's just better that way. But we don't have that. So what we have is these, which are literally put these in the microwave for 90 seconds. And this is jasmine rice, so our fried rice has got a little extra flavor. But we're not going to heat it. We're just going to open it up and throw it on the grill. And that way it's like yesterday's leftover rice. Now, given it's the apocalypse, I don't have any fresh ginger or garlic, which would be delicious, I admit. We don't have that. But hopefully, your neighbors had soy or tamari. And if you're really lucky, there's some fish sauce and some sesame oil. My absolute favorite thing in the world is hoisin sauce. And our fridges last week died, and I had to throw it all away. So this is legit, like we are in apocalyptic times, and this is what I have. About all you need. Add a little bit of each of these and then give it a stir. So if you want to know the difference between soy and tamari, soy is Chinese, tamari is Japanese, and tamari is gluten-free. So if you're a celiac or you have friends of celiac, or you just prefer a less salty taste, go with tamari. Otherwise, use soy sauce or whatever the fuck you find out in the wilderness. Once things start getting crispy, we're going to add the egg, and I rehydrated some of that green onion just to give it a little something extra, and we're going to throw that in. Have you ever noticed whenever you watch TV shows like I'm a Celebrity or any of those things where they have a bunch of people out in the wilderness and they've got people like on food challenges, and there's always on a celebrity version some chef. And I'm always like, why do they have a chef who's used to having a giant kitchen and a sous chef and materials trying to cook emergency meals? You need to find your poorest contestant. Find the person who grew up like housing commission or like on welfare. Those are the people who know how to take when you've got 12 people and they only like gave you enough for 3. That's who you want cooking for you. All right, so this, nice and crunchy, it's done, all done. All right, so this is not a Michelin star meal. We're not on a cooking show. We're not trying to make anything fancy. But this, my friends, at the end of the earth, when you don't have Uber Eats, you don't even have fucking restaurants left, you can still make your favorite Chinese fried rice with the stuff that you found in someone else's kitchen.